Hey, what's going on? This is Gunner4568, and today I'm starting a new series called Beta Builds. No, we're not building a game and having it in beta testing mode stuff, but we are in Forza 4 building cars that are in beta testing stuff, basically. Yeah. The cars I'm building in this series will be cars that I either cannot get the drift at all, or I'm having trouble getting the drift, or make a tune that seems to work really well, but there's some slight problems with it, like twitchiness. This tune is really twitchy, but it seems to work alright. It's really twitchy and all that stuff. So the tunes that I make in this series are for you guys and me to build on in the future. If you have any upgrades to the tune, post them down in the chat below, the comments below. Or if you have some major upgrades to it and you have your own capture card on the YouTube channel, then post a video response for building the whole entire car, and I'll accept it, and then people can go take a look at that as well. So to start the series off, we are going to build the AE86 1985 Toyota Trento Sprinter thingy. So that's the other word for calling it. Basically said that kind of backwards, but yeah, this car, you guys know what it is. Everyone knows what it is. The car from Initial D. But it has a paint on it. It has the TRD drift paint by Will the Beast, and that's the name's right here. I'm gonna put the parts right on the screen here because going through the parts is, I just go through them really fast, and it works on Horizon, but it won't really work too well in Forza 4 because I gotta go to tuning as well, and that make the video extremely long. If I go into tuning and do all the parts and all this stuff, and it makes the video too long and a little too boring. I know drift builds are usually like that, but I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to list all the parts here and read them off to you. So this car has the stock engine, the stock 4AGE, but it has a race air filter, race intake manifold and throttle body, race fuel system, race ignition, race exhaust, race camshafts, race valves, street displacement, race pistons, sport oil and cooling, race flywheel, race brakes, race springs and dampers, race anti-roll bars, both the front and the rear, race roll cage, race weight reduction, racing clutch, race transmission, race driveline, race differential, street tire compound. The tire width for the front is 215, the tire width for the rear is 225, and it has Volk TE37s with the 16-inch rim upgrade, and the Yaris, I don't know how to say that, front bumper, and the Origin hood. So EA Origins makes hoods now. Okay, yeah. I'm just kidding, but EA Origins is kind of a little weird. But anyways, let's go to tuning now, so you guys can take a look at what's tuned on the car, like the tuning setup. So we're gonna do that in the game. Tune setup. So the front pressure is 27.5 and the rear pressure is 29.5 psi. And that's for the tires. And for the gearing, the final drive is at 3.86. The first gear is at 2.77, the second gear is at 2.06, third gear is at 1.65, fourth gear is at 1.38, fifth gear is at 1.17, sixth gear is at 1.02. Now that's for the gearing again, and for the alignment, negative 2.5 camber in the front and negative 0.8 camber in the rear. For the toe, we have 2.5 degrees out for both front and rear. The front caster is 6.8 degrees high. And for the anti-roll bars, we have 23.10 in the front and 33.20 in the rear. And for the springs, we got 410 pounds of something, whatever, in the front, and 509.5 in the rear. And the ride height is all the way lowered to 5.3 inches off the ground, both front and rear. I can't talk. The rebound stiffness front is 7.0, and the rebound stiffness in the rear is 8.8. The bump stiffness in the front is 3.6, and same with the rear. The arrow is not even customizable, so it's just that default. The braking is 50% and 100% pressure. 50% braking force, which way it's going to go from the rear. This is just the default setup, so you don't have to change that. The differential is completely locked at 100 and 100, so there's really no slip. You can change it if you like some slip, and just lower it on the decel or decel. And yeah, that's the tuning setup. Now let's go take it for a test run. Alright, so we're at Tsukuba, however you want to say it. People say it so many different ways. But we're here, and this is where we're going to be testing it for now. And I'm just going to go forward in this this testing thing. A lot of people go backwards, but I'm just going to go forward for this one. As you can see, it does get quite a bit of angle, but it's really twitchy, and not the easiest thing to handle at some points, but overall it's pretty decent for this beta build series, because this beta build series is meant to be for cars that are quite difficult to drift. But I can't seem to get this car right ever, really, for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just not very good at tuning drift cars. But yeah. It does get quite a bit of angle, but then it twitches out at the end, and it twitches during the drift. You may not be able to notice it, but I can definitely feel it. It's twitching. And yeah. Try backwards entry right here. Oh, backwards entry! I won't be able to keep that one though. I kind of spun around there a little bit. Let's go in reverse, change it up a little bit. Reverse. Handled that corner pretty well. Oh! Oh! Look at my live streams now. I feel like I'm doing a live stream because I never actually did a Forza 4 build before and actually done some drifting on it. Alright, well anyways, that was basically it for the test, but you guys may have noticed during the test, the car is a little bit twitchy and a little bit awkward to drive. I mean, it does get really good angle, and it does hold the drift as long as you don't move the steering. Like, it tends to twitch a little too much, but if you can keep it under control, it does drift very well. But that's the thing, this is a beta build. I'm trying to make it like a perfect drift car with the beta builds kind of based off this tune. Now feel free in the comment section below to like correct some things, like say I got the anti-roll bars backwards or something like that, because I'm not really the greatest at drifting. I drift tunes, but feel free to do that. Put your suggestions down below, and also if you have a capture card and have your own channel and you want to do a full rebuild of this, do a response video to it and do a full rebuild of the AE86 with either based off this tune or something very similar. So yeah, that's basically it for this beta build series, and I'm going to do some real build series when I get like cars that I know can drift really well or drift really well for me, and I think they can drift really well for you. I'll do real full builds, and then won't be under the beta build series. It's all a little bit confusing, but it'll get a little less confusing very soon, I guess. But anyways, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like and favorite for more. And yeah, see you next build or next video.